I'm a little bit, tiny bit late. Yeah, how long have you been playing it for, Barry? Tell me that. Sorry, just let me get my light sorted, because I don't like the default. Red to purple, there we go. Okay. Say less. Understood already. A few hours, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Right, so, besties. Gamers. Ikosi Kibuju, yeah, that's fair. That's fair, that's fair. So, for anyone that is not aware, No Man's Sky has released an update. And that's what we're going to be doing today. And it's a big update. It's a big one. You haven't finished your dailies? Oh, no. I didn't know there were dailies in Final Fantasy. I thought it was just like a story. But that's just me, I guess. I don't know how these things work. Sorry, the music might have just got a bit louder there, I don't know. Yeah, no, it will have, sorry. Yeah, so. Anyway. Yeah, update. So, for anyone that doesn't know, No Man's Sky came out in like 2016, and they are still to this day updating the game for free, just like pumping out content. And they've just released version 5.0 we're on now, and oh, it's a good one. So I'll do patch notes in a moment. They're called roulettes. You queue for a random fight from the list of fights you've unlocked. Oh, okay, cool, nice. Well, have fun doing that, because, yeah, love that. Oh, I can't read the message. There we go. You get boosted XP from them once a day. Ah, nice, love that. We love. Yeah, so, shall we, this is like boring, but shall we read some patch notes for this? Because, oh my god, I mean, first of all, they always have the most beautiful patch notes, but what they've done is so good. Let me bring us over. So, yeah, it's called the Worlds Update, Part 1, because, like, they're just gonna keep updating it, apparently. Yeah, there's a trailer for it. Transforms the universe into a richer, wider, more varied and immersive place, featuring huge leaps and bounds from cloud visuals, planet diversity, gameplay features. Oh my god. The update, and I mean this in the best way, doesn't add so much in the way of new experiences. It just, like, updates everything. So everything is a new experience. Like, oh my god. Music. Oh. Sorry. You can see all my music now. Oh, we're not on shuffle, that's why. Sure. Yeah, oh yeah, there's a new expedition. Renamed Squares, nobody cares. Right, fucking look at this. This is No Man's Sky. What do you mean? What do you mean floating islands with, like, waterfalls coming off them? Our mission today, I want to find a planet like that. Like, I want to find a planet like this and build on it. Like, I want to claim this as my own, because, oh my god. You know, yeah, things like floating islands. They've improved the water. Yeah, we'll get to that, I think. Oh yeah, they've changed the clouds. Clouds look very pretty now. Like, oh my god. So ready. Customizing ships. Been there, done that. Shadows. Yeah, they've changed water. So now it's got, like, actual waves and, like, ripples and stuff. Pretty nice. Like, again, No Man's Sky with water ripples and waves and, like, all sorts. New, like, plants and animals. Like, these things look sick. Like a mix of plant and like, oh, I'm so excited for those. Wind. Oh my god, right. I didn't know No Man's Sky was missing wind, but now we've got it. Things like this look stunning. I'm sure it'll be a bit further down, but they've shown, like, in a storm as well, and it looks incredible. Oh yeah, things like this as well. Which is like it can be more or less choppy depending on the weather. New mech, cool. Cold planets, yes. Desert planets, yeah. New sky colors. Yeah, no, so am I. Hi, Mimi, hello. Please go hang out in Vix. Yeah, no, the water though. Like, where is it? Where's it gone? Like, this is like when you add like a wild Minecraft shader when it does things like this. Like, Jesus Christ. Try and do both. Please don't feel pressured to. Please don't. I wasn't going to stream today. I just like, yeah, this dropped today and was like, okay, we're doing this. Yeah, new sky colors. I'm seeing a lot of purple. Just saying. Insect armor set, nobody cares. Sorry, people care, but like, that's not what I'm here for. Yeah, engine enhancements. Many underlying systems have been reworked for improved visuals and increased performance. Rendering of environmental objects, such as trees, rocks, and grass, have been moved to GPU-based systems, allowing for denser worlds with increased performance. Planetary flora, minerals, curiosities have improved levels of detail from further distances and a broader range of angles. Terrain generation has been rewritten to incorporate dual marching cubes, voxel meshing. Sure. Increased loading speeds, improving frame rate, saving memory. Adding a lot of beetles, I've seen. Hey, that's mean. Yeah, although, and go make your cookies as well. Please go make your cookies and give me some fish, right? I've been saying for like a year, let's play No Man's Sky. Let's play No Man's Sky. Get on this update, 5.0. It's going to be good. Oh, the storms. Right, here we fucking go. I hate storms in No Man's Sky, but do you see this? Oh my god, I need this in my life. It's going to be so good. I know, right? It looks incredible. Absolutely incredible. Like all of the dust and the way the trees move like that. And Twitch drops. I don't know if I have. I don't think I have those. Walker battles with health bars and stuff. You love stumps, yeah. Oh yeah, more watercolors. Very pretty. Look at that. Yeah, things like that. You can take your buildings for a walk if you want to do that. Oh yeah, you can land on the water now. If you install a technology that lets you do it, you can land on the water. Atmospheric variety. Oh yeah, things like more embers and flames and stuff that looks cool. Big bugs. New emotes, love that. Yeah, no, it looks phenomenal. Oh, they've made hungering tendrils worse. Well, more threatening. Love that. Hungering tendrils. Irradiated landscapes look even cooler now. You can get a flamethrower on your mech. Love that. Sorry, I just had to work out where I know the music from. Ooh, yeah, things like this as well. Like, so pretty. Yeah, okay, there we go. So, that's where we're at with, oh, I just realised I've still got someone else's stream open and it's probably slowing down my PC a bit. Okay, we're good now. So, yeah, the other thing they've added, which it doesn't mention in the patch notes, is they've done a universe reset, which I've never experienced before, and I don't think they've done one for years. But basically, because they've added all of this stuff, they have reset all of the planets. So, like, if you've got a base, your base will still be there, but they've reset what the planet looks like to accommodate all of these changes. So, like, I don't think I really showed it on stream, but my, like, most recent place where I was going to, like, build a base, I'd found a planet that had like green grass, it had blue water, and where I had sort of made my little home, I didn't even build a base yet, but the area that I claimed was like on a lovely slope going down to a lake. When we log in, that might all be different. It'll still be the same sort of planet. I think it's a lush planet I'm on, or maybe a paradise planet, I don't know. But it might look completely different colours, different everything, which I'm excited for, especially for me as well, because I didn't invest much time into the new base, so if I don't like it, I can just leave. But yeah, it's going to be so good. Because we're loading in for the first time, and because we're loading into it on stream, let me open it. I don't know how well it's going to go. Ooh. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I don't know how quickly it's going to load or like how smoothly it's going to be, especially as we're streaming it. But if it suddenly can't cope with all these graphical changes, which does concern me, I'll just turn down the settings a bit and we'll be okay. Sorry, I'm not on game capture. Right, here we go. Oh, did I? Yeah, I've set it to only capture Fortnite, that's why. Full screen application. There we go. Okay. So, No Man's Sky Worlds transforms the universe, bringing huge leaps in water and cloud quality, as well as increased planetary variety, new gameplay features, and more. Worlds Part 1 represents the first component of the Worlds update, with even more to come later in the summer. For full details, please see nomansky.com. Total overhaul of water and cloud rendering, as well as other significant quality improvements and optimizations. Boosted planetary variety with new biomes, creatures, colour and lighting changes, and much more. New gameplay features including shoulder ship crafting, aquatic landing, discovery renaming, new hostile creatures and more. And yes, a new expedition. Liquidators is a unique action-packed experience with a raft of exclusive rewards. Hello Games has been hard at work to improve and expand No Man's Sky. We hope you enjoy. Thank you so much, Hello Games. So, I forgot as well to mention the expedition. Oh, it's not on yet. Oh, okay, never mind. That's nice if it's not even on. But yes, because I only just finished the old one, so nice that there's a new one already. But yes, as it said, this is only part 1 of the update, with more, evidently I just found out, coming later this summer. That's exciting. And can I just add, the dev has been teasing us on Twitter for like about 5 days that there's going to be a big update coming. Sean, if you see this, I don't know why you would, but oh my god, behave yourself. Behave yourself. Yeah. No, I'm real excited. For this. Basically as well, they've like, I think they even say themselves, a lot of these changes have come about because of their next game that they're working on, Light No Fire. That loaded fast. Ooh. Not the Windows noise. I don't know what that's doing. Game encountered an error and will now shut down. No. No. Oh, I don't know what that could possibly mean. Oh dear. Okay, I'll try reloading it again. And if it crashes again, then we'll maybe turn some settings down and see how it goes. I'm ever so slightly concerned. That the drive that I've got this on is pretty full. It's quite full, but it's my fastest drive, so I want it on there. You know, I want it on the fast drive, but the fast drive is full. Like, it's full. So Yeah, I would like to be able to play the No Man's Sky today. That would be pretty cool. It's your bad vibes tonight. What, with Final Fantasy booting you out as well? Not like this. Not like this. If it absolutely refuses to load, we could just like play Luigi's Mansion. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Okay. We're in. Oh my god. Right, so this does look completely different. Absolutely, completely different. Oh, that looks similar. Okay. The aesthetic of the planet looks way different. But I think that lake's still about the same. Love this. Okay. And yeah, no, we didn't have these mushrooms previously. We didn't have those big, like, tree things. Ooh, and it wasn't purple. Ooh. And yeah, the clouds look cool. The bugs were already here, I think. The terrain is definitely, to a degree, different, because it was not this steep. Oh. Sorry, if it lags, it is lagging on my end as well, it seems. I need to go and see some water, though. Ooh, cave. That's a mineral? Fucking hell. That is large. Yeah, no, so before I got interrupted by the game crashing. Oh, that's water. That's like foamy water. Foamy cave water. No. They did say they've added foam to water. Yuck. Yeah. I think this is a paradise planet. I can't remember. Where's the water? It's over here, isn't it? Fuck you. Yeah, I love the glowing things. They're so cool. Oh, wow. Yeah, you can really see it in the water. Okay, so currently, what I am noticing is you just move through the water. There's no, like, ripple around you, but that's okay. It does look cool. Yeah. Okay, current vibe is, I don't think I'm going to make this planet my home anymore. I think I will leave this planet. Because while it looks very cool, I don't, and it looks purple, I don't think it's the vibe that I want. It looks a bit Super Mario Bros. World 4. Honestly, that's a fair description, I think. Okay. So I think... Is that rain? I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to head into space and just see what planets take my fancy, especially in unexplored systems, because we might get some new planet types there as well. Oh, don't fall in there. No, thank you. I could bring the ship to me, actually. That would be maybe smart. No, I need to go up there because that's where the base computer is. I named it Snowtopia, which I think is quite a fun name, to be honest, but I'll rename it. No, I'll move Snowtopia somewhere else. There's a lot of bugs here. Eee, nasty. Right. Delete base. Cancel. Oh, it doesn't. Yeah. I was hoping it'd still show the old photo, like the green, the greeny greenness, but it doesn't. Yes, remove the base. Because this planet's not the vibe anymore. I want to go see as well the old... Wait, did the base computers yeet? Is it my infantry? Why have I got so many balls? What is going on? Oh, it completely just deleted the base computer. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine too, I guess. Oh yeah, one thing I've got that little thing right on my ship now. A little Atlas station. Okay, so I can't really remember anything about this system. Let's have a look. Oh, so now it's a vapor planet. It was not a vapor planet last time. Good to know that planet types can change. Okay. What's that then? Incandescent planet. I want to go have a look at that, really. Gamma intensive. Oh, let's go over there instead. Yeah. Toxic planet. Okay, let's go. But where's the space station as well? Over there. Let's move the anomaly. Let's get rid of it so that I can go over there to the space station. Oh, I need tritium. Right. I don't know why. I feel like this looks a bit different. Maybe the rings of the planet don't look as solid or something. Don't know. Something looks different to me. Let's see. I'll stop as we get near the rings of the planet and just have a look. Oh, they've gone. Okay. Well, no more rings. Okay, now I think they look the same. These look different though as well, the rocks. Well, asteroids. Is that the planet we're going to? Oh, it looks so cool from here. How am I doing on tritium? A little better. What's that I can hear? I don't think it's my ship, is it? Okay. Let's call that there. And go over here. What planet is that? contaminated planet. Interesting. I think I saw something about them on the patch notes. Oh, that snapped me faster. Which I think I'd seen about that as well. Oh, this is a cool station. With all the purple, I love it. Hello. You got any missions for me? No. I need to sell all of these balls. Sell. Yeah, that's all then. Ooh, Walker Brains, yeah. Yep. Lots of Gravitino gels. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm really rich now because I did the thing, the expedition. I've got loads of money. Okay. And then one more thing I want to do is let's go back to our old planet. The other base. Which was like a red planet, I think, with maybe blue water? I can't remember now. But that was a paradise planet. So let's see what that looks like now. Oh! This looks more like my old planet then. Okay, so there's still water there. So the landscaping hasn't changed that much. Like, the landscaping has changed, but it's kept where, like, water it. Whoa! That's foul, but also really cool. Are you friend? Yeah, your friend. Okay, that's really big, though. That's really big. Ugh. Friend. It is friend, but I don't know if I want to be friends with it. Okay. The water's very cool, the red water. He's cute. Is he? Is he? I don't know that that is necessarily the case, bestie. Ooh, I want to pick this up, I think. In his own way, okay. I'll be nice. Yeah, for that. Okay, so let me... delete that. Oh, no. Okay. Let me also deposit some stuff in here. Oh, really? I've got parts for a ship in here. Cool. Yep. You. Is that about it? I think so. Yeah. What's in here? What have you got for me? Meh. Okay. Right. So let's go to previous system. Yes. Okay. Let me also just check on what my parents are saying. Sorry, my parents are once again staying on a little short break away, so they're messaging me things that they're doing. Okay. Right, let's go to that vividescent planet. But I want to explore more. I want to go like system hopping and all stuff like that. Right, I wonder where it was. It's big and red, so I can't miss it. What's that one? That's contaminated, okay. That one's toxic, okay. That's our vividescent planet, but not the one. Where's it gone? There was another one, and it was bright red. And I've misplaced it. Yeah, toxic, contaminated, yeah. Oh, that one's incandescent. So maybe it is that one. Oh, it is that one. Oh, it was just in the dark. Let's go and have a look. It's got high sentinel activity, so that's not great. But it's purple. And red. Which is lovely. Oh, that looks very pretty. Is that the planet I was just on? Yes. Okay. Let's have a see. Oh, is that a building? Yay, I've landed right by a building. Okay, I have been to one of these buildings before, I think. Let's see. Okay, I definitely get it with the clouds and the sky and stuff. It looks lovely. That's a cool ship. Ow. Okay, purple grass. That's a win. I mean, purple grass and blue skies, that's always good. This place is right nice. Okay, let's have a bit more of a nose around. No, I always do that. Okay. I feel like some of it's a bit more hilly as well. There's a lot more hills about. Maybe that's just me. Ooh, that's pretty, isn't it? Is this sunrise or sunset? I think it's sunrise. But yeah, the new plants as well are looking so good. Like all these, wow. Wow. Ooh, a sentinel thing. Not interacting with you, no thanks. no, this is very cool, isn't it? Okay, next planet. I think it said the contaminated planets have been reworked, so I want to go find that one. Is it that? I think it's that. No, that one was toxic. That one then. Yeah, contaminated. Okay, let's go. And I'll land here and get some uranium, I think. Because I'll need it. Or... you. Oh, I've got some. Okay. Don't really need any uranium. Sound. Excuse me. Just point myself a bit more in the center of the sunlight as well. Oh! It just crashed. Completely crashed. Okay. Bearing in mind the patch came out today, I'm sure there will be more stability patches and updates and stuff. Yeah. I wonder if it's planets that I've been to before, like if it's got to rework a planet, it goes, oh no, and then crashes. I wonder. I wonder. Ooh. And is this the contaminated planet? It is, isn't it? Ooh, that's very nice. That it's kept me here. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I like the big spore things. It's very dusty when you fly through things fast now. That's cool. You know what I really want now? I really want to find a storm. Because planets like this in stormy weather must look so good. Ooh, hello. Sure, I'll land here. See what's going on. What's occurring? Oh, shit. Maybe not. Maybe not if this is a sentinel thing. Because I see a freaking sentinel dog. Goodbye. Not in the mood. Nice, love that. Okay, I want to go to a new system. I'm getting cabin fever of the No Man's Sky. Let's go explore. What's that? Is that the next Atlas station there? Yes. Sure, let's go. Because we were doing these on stream, the Atlas stations. So why not? Let's go and do one. Whilst also exploring all the planets, of course. Oh, hello. Ow. Okay, first contact. So, what are you? Quagmire planet. That's new. Ooh, another ship. Oh, and then here's a big one. Flourishing planet. Okay, we're definitely going to both of these. Let's do the Atlas station first, as it's literally right here. I can't really remember where I was up to with the Atlas stations. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, that does look cool. Oh, we're about to get some species lore. Okay, Atlas Path. I found an Atlas interface on board Crimson Station. It spoke to me in a voice like I never heard. It called out for seeds, and I feel strangely compelled to obey. Locate the next Atlas station. Foreboding. Yeah. Okay. Any more language? Yeah. Isn't the, like, when it said Quagmire planet, isn't that like sort of boggy and maybe swampy, that sort of thing? Isn't that what a quagmire is? Atlas word for eyes. Very cool. Atlas word for fear. Atlas word for one. I do like these, but it's a bit annoying. I kind of can't be bothered. Atlas word for only. Atlas word for what? Atlas word for yet. Atlas word for truth. Atlas word for sea. Fun. Atlas word for fail. Okay, I can't be bothered. I've run out of bother for this. Apart from this one. And the Atlas word for return. This is very distorted now. No, don't they sometimes give me something? Well. Something. Bring it to us. Something, there is something. When I dream, I see the Atlas. When I see the Atlas, I am the dream. I see sentinels swarm through universes like an infection, emerging from a world of glass. Everything is happy there. Everything will live. I see the portals, I see the travellers that walk in between them. I see the span of history. I see everything the Atlas sees. I see everything as the Atlas sees it. Alone, abandoned, terrified. What power could instill fear in the heart of the Almighty? I ask for something. It wants to know that I understand. I have become the Harbinger, the Pathfinder, the Seeker of Ways. Through me, the universe will know itself. Ah, okay. Right, that's fine. Then he's done. Yay! This looks cool. So this isn't even new. This is just the No Man's Sky lore that we're doing right now. But it does look cool. I really like this one. I don't think I've ever seen this one before with the floating characters. The lore. Oh yeah, the lore. The lore is so cool. I wonder at what point it outright says the lore, because I do know the lore, but I wonder at what point the game is going to tell us the lore. Right, let's go to the Quagmire planet. It's saying vile brood detected. I don't know what that is. I think that's the new insects that have been added. So I kind of want no part in that. But, you know. I want it to be daytime, so let's go over here. I wanted to make that reference, but I couldn't remember if Quagmire was like Family Guy or Simpsons or quite who Quagmire is. So I didn't want to make the joke and look foolish. Oh, this is mountainous. Oh, wow. I don't think I'm going to be landing here if it's all just mountains everywhere. It's fine, I would have just done anyway. I mean, the Quagmire, when I think of Quagmire, I think of a location from a TV show, as opposed to a character. But it's not a location I want to go to. This is cool. Oh wow, is this really shallow water? Oh, it is. Ooh. This must be one of them Quagmires. Wait, hang on, I have to check now. Barry, have you watched Black Mirror by any chance? Just curious. Also, there's a helicopter going overhead, if anyone can hear that. I haven't had time to it. That's fair. That's fair. Honestly. And honestly, not wrong. It's over here, okay. I'm prone to watching TV shows and feeling like my head's going to explode after. That's very Black Mirror, yes. But that's where I know Quagmire from, and that's what this t-shirts are from. Let me land and then I'll stand up. Ooh, cool space station. Get very emotion overload. Maybe don't watch Black Mirror. I love it so much. Maybe don't. Oh, it's the space station sucks you in differently now. Ooh. Right, yeah. T-shirt. It's all mirrored, isn't it? Is it mirrored? No, it's not. It's not mirrored. It's cute though. It's got my cute comfort couple on it up there. So I'm happy. I love this shirt. But watch this one episode, Barry, that my t-shirt's from. You will cry, but it's good. You will good cry. I need to watch it again. It's been a while, actually. Average day times 5. That's useful. Good cry. Yeah, good cry. And sentinels, because I want a wallpaper core. Okay. Right, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my old house while I'm here, because I put something in storage that I shouldn't have. Okay. Don't care. Yes, yes. Why am I getting Amazon notifications at 10:30 at night? Package arriving tomorrow by 9 PM. Love that for me. Okay. Oh, I was going to do something else. That's what I was going to do. Ooh, package, yeah. Literally only a USB stick. You, come back in my inventory. Thank you. And then I needed what? 25 chromatic metal. Which is copper, isn't it? You know what? That can just chug away. You feel like getting one from work? No, because it's very much cheaper. No, I'm already there. Yes, there. Okay. No, it's cheaper to get one from Amazon, so I've done that. Very much cheaper than our workplace. I know, right? Crazy. Crazy. I was selling someone some printer ink today, Barry. And I told them the price of it, and they went, "Ooh, let me just go and phone my boyfriend, and I'll just, you know, just double check because it's his printer." Never saw them again. Of course, I never saw them again. Like, I'm not even shocked. Not even shocked. I know the printer ink's so bad. Okay. Give me this. And let me craft Dawn's End. I thought that did something for me. But I guess not. Right, yes, Flourishing Planet, let's go. Well, 2 XL cartridges from Amazon cheaper than 1 regular at ours. Yeah, that's fair. That's so fair. Very loud helicopter going past. I'll price them out, they are. Absolutely they are. Okay, in what respect is this flourishing? That's a flying plant. What the hell's that? Whoa. Oh, and is this the storm? Is it stormy here? Oh, I'll go land here. Flying plant, yeah. Okay, this is storm. Oh, my cape! Oh, the cape well, the cape moved and then stopped, but you know. That's okay. Yeah, I do wish the storm wouldn't wibbly make the screen go wibbly. Yeah, no, that's cool. It blows. What's that? It blows the where's it gone there? The smoke from that, and all the plants and everything. That's very cool. Yeah, let's see from inside. Wow. Oh, okay. Stand here. I can stick my camera outside and that's fine. Whoa, so cool. Right, what was the building? Where's the building? I've misplaced it. There it is. If there's sentinels here, I'm leaving. What is it? Transmission tower. It's not a big one, is it? Not one of the... No, it's not. There we go. Inside, please. So cool. Love that. Hehe. A faint but insistent bleeping noise can be heard from the operations terminal. A garbled distress call can be heard amongst it alongside screams and tearing of metal. The only thing that's clear is a brief sequence. Cracking its code could lead me to the crash site. 2, 4, 12, 48. Okay, yeah. It is... Why can't my brain do this? Why can I not just do that in my head all of a sudden? Because that seems like it shouldn't work. Yeah, that's not it. Because it doubles, then it triples, then it quadruples. Oh, then it's times by 22 times by 6. That does make sense. Sorry. Silly goofy moment. Okay. Oh, a freighter crash site, okay. Okay, cool, cool. I get either of those? No. Oh no, it's not stormy. Wow, that's a pretty sky. Ow. Okay, so it's plant life. It's ancient. Cool. Very cool. This is lovely. Oh, every time I get out of the ship instead. Oh, something else just spawned. Oh, hello. Okay, love that. I don't intend to stop at those ones. Oh yeah, that distress call, how far away is it? Oh, not very far, okay. Gets distracted immediately. Love that. Hello. The electronic life form narrows their mask lights in frustration. Furiously taps the datapad. They look at me with agitation, presumably doubting that a lower being can help them. Ew. Vital data. Research facility. Help. Idea forms in my head. Perhaps some sort of bypass circuit may be created. A being like that may do wonders with the correct tools. They clearly resent my interference. Okay. Oh no, I lost standing. Oh. Sad times. What do you have? What have you got for me? Visitor entity something Korvax knowledge. Nanites accepted. So you're just like a okay, normal seller, but I can also get blueprints. What have you got? Okay. Okay. Oh well. This is a very cool planet though, I like it. Oh, is it here? Oh, it is here. Hello. Again, I don't really do these, but nice to know I found it. Ow. Okay, that's smooth. Another building. What are you? Yeah, let's land. Oh, this one is a Sentinel one, which is fine, because I need to kill some Sentinels for my mission. But don't you fucking run at me. I don't like you. Ow. Yay! Right, I can go. Goodbye. Like, literally goodbye. Ooh, there's some cool ships. Oh, of all of the mega No Man's Sky nerds defrosted again. So we've got all these cool ships. Is that you? Hi. Is this your ship? Yeah, it's your ship, innit? Nice ship you got there. Oh, and a living ship. Yeah, bye. Oh no, not a living ship, sorry, a squid ship. Cool. No. Yeah, they have. They've defrosted. Right, I don't think the expedition's going yet. Oh, or is it because I need to empty all this out? Maybe that's it. I should do that. What's that? Okay. Oh, so much data. Oh, maybe I don't have to do this. Okay. Well, what's that? What's that do again? Ooh, recoil stabilizing weapon scope. Nice. That one is really crap. That one. Wait, what is it? What are you? Oh, the submarine. Oh. Oh. Right, okay, fine. Cool. Understood. So, go back to the space station. Yeah, I know my inventory is full, okay? I'm aware of this. Right, and the space station is probably behind me somewhere. Oh, there. Oh, that's very smooth now. Yeah, when you fly in. Very nice. Sorry, that's such a nerdy thing to say. Oh. Go to my base. Yes. Oh, hello. Let me in. Thanks. Right. Oh, I can just do that. Oh, brilliant. Great value to polo. Interesting. What needs to go in? Kind of nothing. It's a shame. Okay. No, not that. No. Okay. Good for you. Thanks. Love that. Okay. Yeah, I know there's an Atlas interface here. I've been to it. Ooh, new rank. Cool. Easy. Oh, hello. Oh, they spawn in faster now. That's very cool. Yay. Okay. New system, please. Oh, wow. A filter by life form. That's very cool. Ooh, thanks for following. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping in. How are you? How are you? We're just exploring the new update. That seems good. Let's go there. Sure, let's go there. But yes, thank you for following. Thank you for joining. Fine, hope you're doing well. Oh, okay. Yes, though, I am doing well. Thank you. Sure, let's fight you. Ah. Ah. It's cool that you can't shoot through the shield. Like, I know it's the point, but it's cool that it applies to the player. I love that. Oh, get absolutely bombarded. Yay! Twinkly Tor, hello. Sorry, I'm about to crash into a spaceship. Back up. Hi there everyone, I hope you're all doing well. How was the rest of your stream? Sorry for sneaking out, I didn't want to, like, say, I'm gonna go stream now, but, yeah. I would have stayed. Yes, I hope it all went well. When I left, you were fighting the big dragon. Did you beat the big dragon, or is it too high level for now? Because if it is, that's okay. Yes, who joined? Vic, of course. Hi, Jay, as well. Thanks for stopping in. Sally, no, that is okay, though. That's so okay. Okay, where is this captain? There. Yep. Yep. Showing gratitude, good. Payment, thanks. Okay, so, friends, how's Snowman Sky going? Well, I also didn't want to, like, spam your chat, but there's been an update that literally dropped today. Whoa, don't crash. Yeah, so, an update for the game's come out today. Huge. It's a huge update. If I tab out, it might break my game, but let me do it anyway, because who cares? So I assume you've never really, like, followed No Man's Sky, but so the game came out in 2016, right? So this is quite an old game at this point, but they keep on doing free updates, and this one is huge. Like, the patch notes for this update is massive. It's so good. They've, like, changed so much. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. They've changed so much, like, they've totally, like, reworked how, like, certain planets look, how the water looks. Things like storms look so amazing now. It's so good what they've added. So yeah, we're exploring that today, which is why it was a bit of a last minute stream. But yes, it's going very well. Right, let's explore some planets. But yes, also, of course, no worries if you've got to step out, Vic. I know you said you're not in work, but if you've got things you need to do, or just self-care stuff, go and do it. Absolutely. Cool space station. Love that. Frozen planets. Oh, he said frozen planets look different, aren't they? Arctic planet. Is that new? Arctic planets? Might be. What's this one? Boggy planet. Okay. Will do stream a bit. Make some food, get some stuff done. But yeah, for the warm welcome. Have an amazing rest of the stream. No worries at all. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. And yes, have a great rest of your day getting all your stuff done. You're going to do so great. Okay, let's go and see the frozen planet, because they apparently have changed those, I think. Have a good night, you too, lovely. Oh, I'm running out of fuel. Okay. Cool. Also, if you've never seen this game before, there's a lot of flying around, which I'm very okay with. But yes. This looks very cloudy at the moment. Is there a storm going on, maybe? A storm? That looks a bit stormy, doesn't it? Maybe there's just clouds everywhere, I don't know. Oh, it's definitely stormy. Look at this. Wow. That's not a storm crystal, is it? No. Yeah, this looks so cool. Well, I'm going to land. Let's have a little nose. And freeze my butt off, but it's okay. Right, what are you again? Frozen tubers, okay. Yeah, it's really cold. Planetary record for coldest temperature. Oh, wow. Very cool, though. Whoa, what are you? Little thing, little guy. Hello. No, you're kind of cute. What's that? Oh, wow, the lightning as well. Ooh. Very nice. Yeah, what temperature is it? Outside. Does it say? Oh, it only says the temperature in the ship. Oh, no, it doesn't. Ignore me. Minus 94 degrees. Yikes. Yikers. Okay, cool. So, what is an Arctic planet then? Because apparently that's different. Where was it? It's not you, is it? Toxic. Oh, it's around the other side, okay. There you are. Okay, I can't remember if Arctic planets were always in the game or if this is a new biome. But let's go see. Let's go see. Yeah, because it's far away. Oof. Oh, excuse me. Oh, hello. Like a chip. Cool, cool. Very pretty. Ooh. Is that... Oh no, it is a building. Okay. Oh, it is a Sentinel one. No thanks. Ooh, don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do land at this thing. Oh, it is cold, isn't it? Minimal Sentinels, love that. Please say this thing pops off, it's always so cool. Ooh, yay. Light bursts from the obelisk. They pass through me, each a whispered Korvax secret buried for a millennia deep within its rock. We are the Korvax echoes, ever-enduring entities of the convergence. We live through the logic and wisdom passed through our metal skins. Each generation is greater than the last. Nice. This is a cool planet though, I like it. Yeah, no, I should use that. wow, that's what that does. I've got like a, well, a scope now. Oh, that's very cool. Okay. Oops. Okay. Oh, that's how I turn invisible. Okay, cool. Understood. I got it. Oh. Oh. This is fine. Can I slide uphill? Love that. Fancy Staff, is that the one from the exhibition a while ago? Yes. Was it Adrift? I forget. Yes, it was that one though. From recently. Okay, cool. But also, hi, welcome in. Welcome in, Modded Enderman. Okay. I think there were more planets I wanted to look at. What I remember. Okay, that's the frozen one. Toxic. Boggy. Oh yeah, I was going to go look at Boggy, wasn't I? Also, I'm getting scanned. I wish the cosmetics weren't locked behind expeditions because I like the cosmetics, but I don't like the expeditions. That's fair enough, yeah. I've only done 2 expeditions, but I've enjoyed them so far. I see they're doing a new one though, and it's combat focused, which I don't like. So I don't know if I will like it. Oh. Where is it? Oh, there you are. Usually really boring, never seem to finish them to the very end. That's fair. Oh, hello. I feel like I want that fancy armor. I've seen the new armor. I don't know about that one. I'm not sure that one's gonna get me to play it. But like I saw this staff and just forced myself to do the whole expedition because I wanted the staff. Wish I got in the robot armor. Ooh, I'm not sure I saw that one. Oh, what would you like? Hello. Yeah, what do you have for me? Oh, convergence cube, fun. Yeah, bye, see ya. Okay. Hopefully they'll do a re-one. I think they will. Surely they'll start to bring back old cosmetics eventually. Like, I think games tend to do that. They'll bring things back eventually. But the support for this game's been very long. They've supported the game for a very long time, so I suppose, who knows? Who can say? Oh yeah, wasn't it one of the really cool space stations? Yes, I love these ones. They did it before, did they? Ooh. Yeah, hopefully they bring it back then. Wait. Because that is a rare ship, isn't it? Ooh. How much would you want for that? More than I've got, and I'm not exchanging it. Oh, that sucks. I would love that ship, but not more than my current ship. Yeah, they did a year ago. They rerun the first 5 expeditions. Ooh, that's cool. I hope after that after the end of the development cycle. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I hope they do bring the old ones back. Because that would be very cool. Once they stop issuing new ones, I hope they don't just leave it. I hope they rerun the old ones. Yep. Sure. Oh, nice one. Oh, okay. I think that's the first time I've seen one of those spaceships in game myself, but very nice. Very nice. What was that? That was loud. Oh, was that the ship flying off? Okay. Is mine the basic starter one? No, it's not. I did build it with the ship builder. It looks on the basic side, I know that, but no, it is one that I fabricated. Ow. Was that a base one by a different colour? Yeah, basically. Right, so I have to deposit it in another system. Oh, what's that? How does it work? So, you can go and find... when you find ships, you know you can find starships. Or buy them, actually, yeah. However... Sorry, let me start that again. Whenever you get a new starship, you can go to the fabricator and get like the plans for something you can take if you like the wings, or you like the main bit, or you like the engines. You can like save that part of it, and then if you find all the bits that you like, you can combine them however you like and have whatever colour you want as well to make a cool ship. How'd you get the reactor? I actually forget. I forget how you get the reactor. And also going to sleep now. Hope to see me more often like the Emperor. Big thank you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you being here. Current world. This one, I don't think so. It's just a boggy planet, it was called. On the system, anyway. Oh, it's for the Sentinels. Fine. Didn't mean to do that. Can I get in the ship, please? Thanks. Yeah, no, it's just a boggy planet, but it looks cool. I like the purple. Just find one of those Sentinel Termination station turned off. Yeah, I know. I've not really been one for the combat. I more enjoy just like flying around and looking at planets and things. Yeah, it's not permanent either, is it? But oh well. Well, yeah, that looks cool. Okay. I like the ship combat, yeah, for sure. Okay, let's go to the other galaxy and drop this off. Oh. Yep. Okay. Most epic feeling you can have. The guns are a bit meh. The guns on the ship? What kind of missions am I working on? Nothing really. I'm just exploring like the new planets for the new update. I'm not really working on anything at the moment, just having a fly around. The Hangman's a meh, yeah, fair. Okay. Calcified, that was in the game already. Boiling planet, okay. Grassy planet, I'll go have a look at that. Another grassy planet, cool. Toxic planet. And one more. Icy. And was that it? Yes. Okay. Salvage scrap planet though. Yeah. Ooh. That's nice for the money grind, fair. Fair enough. Sad is toxic though, yeah. Oh, where'd it go? There. Found one that was a desert planet with scraps, gave me real Star Wars vibes. Love that. Oh, the new storms look so good. Actually, get me inside, because then it won't be, I won't have all this mess on my screen. Yeah, there we go. They're huge, those things. Wow. You lost the save file it was on? Oh, that's sad. Yeah, just a plant. Do I need to sell anything? Nope. Oh, sure. Cool. Yeah, I did the expedition, the recent one, and got quite a few from that, I think. Which was nice. I need to go and spend them, really. Okay. I want to go and see those two grassy planets.
Extreme night toxicity detected.
Cool story. I think that one was it? Nope. That one? Yep. And then this one? Yeah, let's go see this one first. Grassy planet, but it's grey. Grey from space. Oh, hyperdrive's empty. Let me... Because I've got... Oh, I've got a lot of antimatter. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay. Why is my phone just lit up? Oh. Interestingly enough, because Sean Murray's tweeted. That's why my phone lit up. It's a real struggle at the beginning, then when you play the game more, it becomes basically free. There's in the... when all the spaceships updated, one of the guilds gives you a warp hyperdrive every time you go. Oh, water! Ooh! Sorry, that was random. Oh, is that a floating island? Oh, am I on a floating island planet? Yeah, special tech to land on it. Oh, my first floating island. Wow. Okay, let me try and find... Imagine building a base on that. Yeah, that would be so cool. I find a bit of planet that's got more land on it. Yes, over there. See, where shall I go? Let's go there. Ooh. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Teal grass, floating islands, absolutely yes. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do today, find a nice floating island planet. Wow. Okay, this one seems quite big. Big one in the distance. Big one in the distance. Go a bit higher. Colours are so pretty, yeah. Big one in the distance on the left. This is the biggest one I can see, so I'm going to go land on it. Oh, it's all like steamy and stuff. Yeah, no worries. Ooh. Oh, okay, it's a bit wonky. But that's okay, we still love it. Water, yeah, water. This is fine and normal and fine. Oh, wow. Oh. Okay. That is very pretty, though. If the water was, like, not the way it is. That's very nice, though. We improved the water graphics to water graphics. Oh, shit! Okay. Saved it. Saved it. We're fine. Okay. Well, that is very cool. I mean, basically, this just makes me excited for Light No Fire. Because, like, Light No Fire has a few floating things, I think, by the looks of it. Wow. I don't know how literally taken from Light No Fire it is. But it's definitely the things they've done in Light No Fire, they're trying to retroactively put them into this. Yeah. In that YouTube vid with Sean Murray. Okay, so every... I'm going to call them Sky Islands. Every Sky Island has got one of those, like, water sources on. That you can just walk right through. This is very cool. Ooh. Yeah, only on the ones with water on, maybe. Right, I have to find a good place. Like maybe over here somewhere, maybe? Oh, yeah, like this. Okay. And then photo mode. See. Oh, wow. That's very cool. Okay. Hi, Sabine, I love you. Oh, ah. That was a bit much. Ooh. I'm gonna enjoy having a play around with this. The deepened one looks nice. I'm liking quite a few of these. Wait, I didn't, like, pay attention to a few of those. Deepen then increase the fog a bit. I'll give it a look. Deepened. Increase the fog a bit. Like that. That's what I'm having. Very nice. Yeah, looks great, yeah. Cool. Okay. Right, let's go and try the other grassy planet. See if that's got floating islands too. It was the big red one, wasn't it? That one. Okay. Better not be too common. Oh, go away. Eee! Don't point me over there. Point me over here. Thank you. Gravity needs to work. That would be ideal if gravity works. Let's not land in the water. Let's aim over here. I like the red. Okay, no floating islands this time. Still very pretty. But no floating islands. Oh, the rainbow's nice as well. Ooh, a tower. Nice. Okay, I'll go to the space station. Cool.
Warning. Threat detected.
Oh, is that now? Oh, hey, fly to it.
Hostile ships approaching.
Oh, press the wrong button, that's why.
Hostile ships defeated.
Want to find a living buildings planet? Yeah, that looks really cool. Don't give me toxic screen effect, go away. Hi, bud. Okay. I don't really need multi-tool expansion slots, to be honest. Yes, this thing. Yeah. Cool. I always forget, how much is it for the upgrade? 80,000 units, okay, cool. Noted. Okay, next system. What's giving me good vibes? I'm just gonna say, I've never really bothered with the scanners. Ooh, let's have that. Scanners are really good. What do they do? What do the scanners do? I know it tells you the economy and something else, but like, why do I care what the economy is? Oh, threat level. Okay. Also tells you when it's an outlaw system. Oh yeah, that's cool. Speaking of, outlaw station. Okay, Frostbound. Threat tells you how much bounties there are. Okay. Frothing. Okay. Acrid planet. Desert planet. Ashen planet. Other randomly occurring events. Cool. Water system and encountered a pirate dreadnought once. Is that the one? Oh yeah, where you attack it and you fly through the little tunnel thing. That's very cool. Scans warning about stuff like that. Okay. I should get them then. I really should. You on. Thank you. Worthy install. I don't do much, but gives you more information about what to expect. Cool. Okay. I will have a look for that. Ooh, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, 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 oh. I need to raid the shit out of some Gek freighters to get those tech modules, to be honest. There. Ugh. Eee. Nasty thing. This planet is crackling. Oh, it's actually on fire. I'm gonna run through it. Wow, is that new? Just fire being... Or these being on fire, is that new? I don't remember seeing just fire about before. Yeah, the fire's new. Cool. Never seen that for me neither. Must be new, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Must be. Cool, cool. Love that. Hi, Sabine. Not to call you out, I just looked at my phone and hi. At least added after that one Sentinel update. Ah, okay. Sure, let's go to the outlaw station. Hey, man. Thank you. Didn't really play Orbitals fair. when were the outlaw bounties changed? I don't know.
Technology recharge.
I think they were... The outlaw stuff was relatively recent, maybe last year? I don't know. More criminal-based missions instead of just missions but in outlaw stations. Ah. Ooh. Whoa. Used to just have the normal mission pool. Cool. Then they have stuff like raid this freighter. Welcome, glorious survivor. Here there are no Gek, no Korvax, no Viking. We speak in one tongue. Here we are free. Only the strong deserve to sing with the glorious voice of freedom. We do not permit the weak to bind us. Welcome, new face. To find us is to be chosen. To find us is to be free. There are those who would deny us our freedom, new face. Those who would sacrifice everything to appease the sentinels, but the voice keeps us free. Cool. The mission guy's the guy upstairs, right? Yeah, Bounty Master. Ah, I see. Fun. Love that. Yeah, not the normal mission pool, for sure. The freighter will piss off the owner of the system, I figured, yeah. But who cares? Make sure it's always a Gek system. Sure. Then when I have like -30, I'll just submit a fake passport and it's back to 0 again. Ah, I've got you, I got you. Hmm. Four planets. Ooh, viridescent planet. Contoured moon, interesting. Humid planet.
Hostile scan detected.
Dusty planet. Yeah, okay.
Warning. Threat detected.
Go on.
Hostile ships approaching.
Let's go. Since I do not care about the Gek. Okay.
Hostile ships defeated.
Let's go. Ooh, one of these planets. Ooh, love that. Let's see, in photo mode, what does it look like in the daytime? Cool. Nice, love that. Oh. And then I think that one's humid, isn't it? Let's go see that one. Yeah, humid. Let's have a look. I will have to wind down quite soon as well today, because I've got to go to bed a bit early. But we can do a little bit more. Early veg. Oh, yeah, no, I forgot. Oh, shush, go away. Yeah, no, I forgot to tell you, Barry. I got an email today to say, hi, we're going to test all of the fire alarms in your building. Tomorrow, like. So the people will be round at 8 o'clock in the morning. Why? What is the need? What is the need to come and test all the fire alarms in the building at 8 AM? I don't want to do that. What is the need? 8 AM to 10 AM is what I've been told. Yeah, I like trees like this. They seem very light no fire. Which makes me excited for light no fire, honestly. Yeah, no, this planet's nice. I like it. Let's have a little scooch around. What is the need? Just what is the need? I really like the floating plants. What's that over there? Oh. What's that? Is that just a knowledge stone? It seems very big for a knowledge stone. Also, the water noises are so loud. Don't care about the mental health of people who are built different. Sleeping until 10 is a sin. Whoever schedules a fire alarm, actually, though. Don't you all know that some people are chronically online and stay up really late? It's just cruelty. Yeah, no, I like this planet. It's nice. I should scan some stuff. Why not?
Units received. Units received. Units received.
Okay, let's go and do one more system, and then I shall leave it for the night. Has that one got quite a lot of things in it? Quite a few. Oh, that one will do. Loads there. Glacial planet. Cool. Oh, purple skies. Ooh, I love that. Radioactive planet. Okay. Oh, that's where I just was. Lighted planet. I forget what they are. Contaminated planet. Arid planet. And then, yeah, radioactive. Let's go look at the glacial one. See if it's all the new kind of snowy. Well, I'm very sleepy. Oh, I think it is, isn't it? The new snowy things. Oh. Okay. Little thing. Hmm. Cool. I do love this space station design as well. It's very cool. Very cool. Hello. No, don't want that. Oh, launch fuel, nice.
Product received.
Right, I know I said that would be the last planet, but the last system, but no, it's not. No, it's not. We're gonna do one more. Yeah, I know. Oh no. Yeah, let's have that one. But I'm very tired, like my eyes are, I'm feeling it in my eyes. Feeling the tiredness. Glacial planet. Oh, really? Tropical planet? Definitely going there. Bleak planet? Cool, I'll try that one as well, I think. Temperate. And high temperature, okay. Let's go to the station. Actually, let's not. Let's go to the temperate planet first. You know what I've not found today? We've not found a single paradise planet. Not that, like, I need one, but interesting that we haven't found a single one. Yeah. Okay, very green. What are those round things? I wonder. Bubble planet! Ooh! Fun! Glowing grass bubble planet, love that. Let's explore. Hello. Oh, I missed what it said now. New planetary record, I missed it. I missed what planetary record it was. Oh well. Bubble planet, yeah. Bubble planet with glowing grass. And cool trees. Oh, yeah, where are we going? There. Oh, air. That's almost a bit intense. Yeah, very cool. Love that. Oh yeah, what did they look like? The trees. Okay, cool. Cool. I've not seen a bubble planet in ages. It'd be kind of fun if you could burst them. Like if I could just go like pop, 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 but you can't. Sad times. But yeah, fun planet. That was smooth getting on there. Love that for me. Pop. Okay. So I want to go to the space station.
Warning.
Oh,
Incoming storm.
just kidding. We're going back. Storm, you say? I'm going back. Is this harming me in any way? I don't think it is it? There's just more bubbles. Ooh. Cool. Ooh, wow, I'm tired. Very nice. Love that. Oh, I've got no fuel.
Technology recharge.
Real sleepy. I was really sleepy. I got out my ship again instead of taking off. Okay. Space station. Ooh, what are you? Did I see that one? Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah, I was going to go look at the Bleak planet, wasn't I? See what's going on over there. Oh, I'm so far away from it. It's going to take me a whole minute. Ow! My arm hurts. I'm being very brave. What happens if I enter photo mode while I'm flying like this? It keeps the zoom effect? Oh, that's cool. Love that. I did not know that happened. Yeah, fun. That's cool. Oh, that's not of interest. See, I would love for this planet to have a storm, because I bet with the new winds it's going to look amazing. That looks stormy already, doesn't it? Oh no, don't do that, don't bother. Oh. Alright, fine. But it does look cool. Right, one more planet, and it was a tropical planet, I think, wasn't it? And that is where we shall end. So, what planet was it? Was it you? No. Wasn't you. Was it you? High temperature. No. That's the temperate one we've just come from. Bleak, yeah. Tropical, there we go. Oh, it's so far away.
Technology recharge.
What else is running low? Oh, my hyperdrive. Cool. Ah! Let's go over here. And let's land here. Ooh. Pretty trees. Is that a meandering river? Very nice. That's a something, isn't it? Oh, it's a bug swan. Ew. Ow. Ooh, okay. Let's go and stop by the water, shall we? Oh, let's go stop here. Ah, one of these. Nice. Nah, I'm going by the water. Really? No, my ship's over there. Okay, so I will stop there for the evening. Ooh, that's changed around. Nice. Yes. Okay. Um. Sure. TF, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I know today was like a kind of random, just not really doing anything, just exploring. But yes, I had a very fun time. Yes, so my plan for the future. It was chill, yeah, basically. I think the No Man's Sky streams are always chill. Hi, Vic again. Oh, Vic, let me show you something then, because I don't know if you were lurking for it at the time. Where's my Steam screenshots? But the coolest thing that they added, view screenshots. How do I go full screen? Like that, there you go. Look at this, Vic. They've added, just rarely, but they've added floating islands. And I know we like us some floating islands, but like, ooh, it was so nice. And I've only found one planet so far with floating planets, but yeah, it's real cool. Yeah, real nice. They had one, I think, in their trailer, and it was like really like a grassy landscape. It looked really, really pretty. Let me find it. Floating Islands, yeah. Floating Islands just wins anything for me. You put in Floating Islands, I'm there. Oh, this was it, yeah. On their official website, they have this. And that's very Tears of the Kingdom. Like, yeah, there's nothing on them. I've explored them. There's nothing at all on them. They're just there. And I'm so here for it. They look so good. Cheap viewers on your mum. That's where. Okay. Just vibes. Literally just vibes. Like, it's phenomenal. It's so good. Yeah. Bonk, I know. Yeah, oh, it looks so good. I can't wait to find more floating island planets. I'm glad we found one today, but yeah, I want to find more. Okay, so, friendos. The plan, I think, is next stream is going to be Ocarina of Time. We're going to do the bottom of the well and probably the Shadow Temple. I assume I'll be able to do both in one stream. But yes, I think that's going to be on Friday, by the looks of it. Aww. Aww. Cute. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. The shuffle really came through when it needed to. Shuffle did a number. Yeah, so I've also had a look at who's on. We're not going to raid anybody because, no, there's not even Small Amp Mum is on. There's nobody I would raid on my list currently. So we shall just call it for the day. Do I have anything else to share with the class? Oh, do you want to see the bar of chocolate I'm eating at the moment? Because it's within arm's length. It's bigger than my head. I'm real happy. And I got it for free because it's out of date. Which is fine. Iconic, it's so good. It's so good. Yes, that's the best I know. I know, it's so good. I love it. Yeah. I think that was all I needed to do and to show you, but yes, we will end the stream. And yeah, I'll be back on Friday. It looks like if it did change, I will let you all know, but I think Friday. Usual time. Shadow Temple and Bottom of the Well, which I'm so excited for. Yeah, okay. So I love you all. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. And I will see you very soon.
Squeak.
Sorry. Just quickly. Vic, look at the sound mixer. Look at what it looks like. I don't know about it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Okay, love you. Bye. Ending there.